back to my channel. It's the favorite time of the year now. It's a time for lots of good food, lots of good time and lots of celebrations. It's the festive time. In today's recipe video, I'm going to be showing you a very Indian fusion dessert which is sweet ravioli, which is filled with mawa and dry fruits, which goes with a side of rabdi. Let's begin looking at this very interesting fusion Indian dessert recipe. But before we dig into the recipe, friends, do not forget to like and share my videos, subscribe to my channel, and also share my videos with your friends and family and in those WhatsApp groups. Thank you, friends. So to begin making the ravioli dough, I'm going to be taking 1 cup of maida, which I'm going to add about 2 to 3 spoonfuls of ghee, which is melted, and I'm going to start mixing this until the ghee is properly mixed with the entire dough. So now the dough is nice and crumbly. When you hold like this, it holds its shape. Now to this I'm going to be adding about 4 tablespoons of powdered sugar. Mix it thoroughly. Adding 4 tablespoons of yogurt or dahi to this. I'm going to give all of this a good mix again. Now the dough has already started coming together. I'm going to be using a little bit of milk at a time to knead the dough. You could also use water in the place of milk. We want a stiff dough, not a very soft dough like roti. It has to be stiffer as compared to roti. So I had to use maybe 2 spoonfuls of milk to knead it, and my dough has beautifully come together. Okay, I'm going to now cover this dough and let it rest for about 10 to 15 minutes in the fridge or on the countertop. I'm going to be now making the filling for our ravioli. I'm taking this grated and crumbled fresh paneer that I made. I'm adding some mawa powder to it, or you could also take fresh mawa. Adding a little bit of powdered sugar according to taste. And I'm going to be adding this mixed dry fruits, which I have kind of powdered down. So this is almonds, cashews, pistachios. I'm now going to give all of this a good mix. Now to this I'm going to be adding a few drops of my favorite ingredient, which is rose water. Now to this I'm going to be adding a little bit of milk, so that it all comes together. So the mixer for our ravioli is now ready. Let's start rolling the ravioli dough to make out raviolis now. Now the ravioli dough that we made earlier has been resting for about 10-15 minutes. I am going to take half of this, gently knead it. I'm going to be using a little bit of dry flour on this and start rolling out the dough. The idea here is to roll it as thin as possible. I've rolled out the sheets. Now I'm going to be using a cookie cutter like this and cut out some pieces for my ravioli. Today I'm going to be just doing a circular one. I'm going to be taking out the excess flour. Now in each of this I am going to be filling the masala that we made earlier. I'm going to be brushing the sides of these sheets with a little bit of water so that I can seal them. Now taking this one, I'm just going to be placing on top of the other one and just seal the edges like this, making sure that there are no air pockets inside. Using a fork, I'm just going to seal it really tightly. Now I have all my raviolis ready. I'm going to warm up my oil and fry them. I'm going to now fry the raviolis that we made in some hot ghee. It's very important that we tightly seal the raviolis, otherwise while you're frying they might open up in the oil. Flipping it when they're slightly golden brown on the other side. Now we are going to start making the rabdi, for which I've taken a kadai in which I'm going to be adding milk. I am taking about 650 milliliters of milk. I'm going to let it boil for about 10 minutes. So the milk has been boiling for about 10 minutes now. I have kept the heat on medium and I'm going to let it boil for another 10 minutes or so. The milk has now been boiling for a total of 20 minutes. I see that there is a lot of cream coming on the top and it's almost reduced to half. At this stage I'm going to be adding a little bit of condensed milk to this milk. And now I'm also going to be adding a few strands of kesar to this. Again, on a very low heat, I'm going to be letting this to boil for about another 10-15 minutes until it thickens up. So the rabdi has now been boiling and I will now taste it to adjust the sweetness. So the rabdi is ready now. It is nice, thick and creamy. I'm going to be now turning off the heat and let it cool down for some time. Moving on, now I'm going to be making a sugar syrup for the ravioli. I've taken about 2/3 cups of sugar, to which I'm adding a little bit of water. Adding a few strands of saffron and a couple of elaichis. The sugar syrup has boiled nicely. We are looking for a thin sugar syrup, not very thick. So I'm going to turn off the heat at this point and let the sugar syrup cool down a little bit. Now I'm going to soak all the fried raviolis in the sugar syrup that we made earlier. I'm going to soak all of the raviolis similarly and let each one of them soak for about 2-3 minutes, and then we can start plating the entire dish.